Show back in the day called Gossip Girls. And this show was a really good show. Y'all should check it out. I'm just kidding. I've never seen it. Just kidding. But I remember back when I used to watch cable and all that, cable television, that show, I would always scroll down and see that show. Never seen an episode, but I can only imagine what that show was about. And not too long ago, I was talking to my wife about a topic about gossip, and I brought up how I wanted to make a shirt that said Gossip Girls on it, because in my workplace it seems like a lot of people tend to have that spirit of gossip, not being able to mind their own business and just go to work to do just that work. And my wife told me that she went on Netflix or one of those things, and she told me that Gossip Girls was blasted up on like what they were promoting for that week. I thought it was a little bit funny, a little ironic. But one thing that we need to remember is that we need to try our best to do what Christ did. And Christ was not talking about this one, that one. Christ wasn't indulging in negativity like that. So we can't either. When you do that's an open door for demon possession. So you got to watch out. You got to hold your tongue. Life and death lies in the power of the tongue, so you have to try to control your mind as much as you can so that you don't fall into talking about people. You really have to mind your own business. If you're not strong enough, then you really must gain a level of tunnel vision and just focus on what it is that you're doing, the task at hand. And one thing that all of you need to remember, one thing that all of you need to understand is that people are always going to have something to say about you, whether it's positive, negative, and most of the time, if you're trying to live this life that's in the Bible, 9 times out of 10, it's always going to be something negative that they have to say about you. Because Christ tells us that a servant is not greater than his master. Christ said, if they hated me, just know that they're going to hate you too. And that's 100% true. If the world loves you, you have to question your spiritual walk. We have to question if you're truly living by the tenets of Christ. If you're doing the best that you can, if you're trying to be the best person that you can, if you're a person that tends to mind your own business and you don't really, bother people like that, you're not in a bunch of crowds and people have negative things to say about you, then consider yourself blessed. Consider yourself as doing what it is that Christ expects from you. And when people talk negative about you, when people try to assassinate your character, when people try to ruin your reputation, when they try to minimize you and put you down, you can't take none of that stuff personal. You can't let that make you sad. You cannot let that make you angry to the point where you want to say something bad back to that person, where it gets you so angry that you start taking it out on other people, on people that have nothing to do with the situation. Some things you have to just learn to let it slide right off. But gossip is something that can really destroy a person if they're not strong in the faith, and if they're not strong as a person in general. That can really cause somebody to end themselves. That can cause somebody to destroy their relationships because they take it out on the people that are there for them. You start hating the world. You have this hate the world type of mentality, and that's something that we really need to watch and really need to pay attention to when certain things like that starts affecting you. When gossip starts affecting you to that point, you need to just stay quiet. Think about what you're gonna say. Think about what kind of thoughts come to your mind. And whenever you have a real negative thought towards somebody that's gossiping towards you, you really must do what Christ did, which is forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. And when you start practicing that, you start thinking differently. You really start to think spiritually, and you really start to recognize that the person that's doing that is not really the person that's doing that. It's a spirit that's in them. It's a spirit, a bad spirit, a wicked spirit that's in their life going against you, and it's the spirit coming against you because the person might not be able to tell who you are, but the spirit that's in them, 100% of the time, they know who you are, and they want to destroy you. They want to make you backslide. They want to make you go back into your old ways. Every single way, every single bad way that you were in the past. They want to put you back there so that more bad spirits can take a hold of you, and then it'll just be harder to come back to this positive side of life that you were able to come into. Some people just don't know how to love. Some people were not raised right. Some people were raised by parents that all they did was gossip. All they did was judge people for the smallest things. Somebody could be wearing something a little funny. Somebody could look a certain type of way, and they'll have parents or people that they looked up to, people that took care of them, that would judge those type of people, and so they ended up picking up on those tendencies, and it causes the darkness within them to increase. And now that they're older, you know, they don't see anything wrong in what they're doing. They don't see the error of their ways. God knows who you are. You know that you're doing the best that you can. And that's the only validation that you should care about. That's the only validation that you should seek for. Anything that any other person has to say about you, if it's negative and if it's for no reason, don't pay no attention to that. Don't pay no mind to it. Because there's other people that will have the complete opposite to say about you. There's some people that will tell you, you operate on positivity. You're a real positive person. I like the way that you are. You have a good heart. You people that are real people that have good hearts in them will be able to know that you have a good heart in you, that you're a good person, that you're just there to do what you got to do, and people will respect that. There's other people that will have nothing negative to say about you, but it's few and far in between. So don't forget that. And salute, my family.